Hello, welcome everyone back to the Midnight Channel. We are here for episode 46. Welcome everybody. We have a stacked cast tonight, and I'm really excited to talk about the Game Awards because it's something that I'm excited for each year, even if some years aren't as good as others. And some people think that's lackluster. I think it's a really cool event to celebrate, and I'm really excited to talk about it. I'm here with Russ, Brandon, Brittany, and Lou. So yeah, as usual, we are gonna go ahead and talk about what we've been playing, and we are gonna go clockwise, but we're gonna skip me, and I'll come around last. So we'll start with Russ. Russ, what have you been playing?
So since the last time I was on, I played and beat and platinum Sonic Frontiers.
Oh,
I really liked it. I liked it more than I thought I was going to. I really liked the music. I think that was like one of the best parts of it. I like heavier music, and I thought the boss battle music was like perfect for the game. But yeah, I had fun with it. And then after I beat that, I just pretty much went right into Pokemon. I beat it the day before Pokemon came out.
oh, cool. How far into Pokemon
Perfect
are you?
timing.
I beat it. I
Oh,
beat
you
it,
beat
and I
it. Okay,
have and I have 35 Pokemon left until I complete the Pokedex.
okay,
Yeah, I put a lot of time into it.
nice.
That's pretty much been it, though. I've been playing Overwatch here and there. I'm almost done with the Battle Pass. I have 4 levels left, and then I'll get Genji. So I'll definitely do it.
Okay, yeah, and then we got Brandon. Brandon, you're the Overwatch calculator. How many days do we have left?
10. The battle pass ends in might be 11. 10 days. Yeah. 10 or
I think it
11.
was 11 when I checked today.
Yeah, it still a lot of time. You could earn just off the bonus XP, you could earn pretty much 10 levels, 10 and a half levels from the weekly challenges, and then you can earn a whole tier from doing your daily challenges. So it's plenty of time to
Yeah,
get far in the battle pass.
I'm gonna try
Especially
to.
because there's double match XP right now.
Yeah, and I think I'm gonna try to complete it this weekend. Just because of that double XP, it'll make it a little faster.
Yeah, you'll definitely be able to do it, especially like with double XP. So that's good. And I turn my camera off for a second, but Brandon is next either way. So Brandon, what have you been up to?
Just Overwatch, probably. I don't know. I started Mario Rabbids, but I'm so early on in that game. That's not a whole lot to talk about. It's just like the first one. I honestly forget a lot of the first one in
Mm-hmm.
detail, so I have a hard time noticing what's super different about it. Obviously the sparks are different, but past that, I just have a harder time noticing. Yeah, probably just Overwatch. Start playing Toontown recently again.
Did you start playing it recently?
Shuts Toontown. Yeah, I picked it back up because why not? Toontown's fun,
Is
you
it
know?
it's not official Toontown, right? It's like a fan project
Yeah,
or
it's a private server. They when it went down in 2013, they gave a warning. So a lot of people, I mean, it went down in September of 2013, and the first private server, the one that is the most popular right now, went up in October or something, like late October or November, and it's been, I think they celebrated the 9th anniversary this year, and next year will be the 10th anniversary.
that's
But
awesome.
it's really cool.
Are they
I,
are they making like new content for it too, or are they just like
yeah, the
kind of continuing it?
Yeah, they're working on new. They have made a bit of their own new content, and they kind of just recently like added the last piece like last year of missing content that they had, but they're still planning on working on new content. It's all like volunteer work. Like none of them are being paid. They specifically have to refuse payment to not get in trouble with Disney.
Mhm.
Um, who still own a lot of it. Um, but there's that private server. It's Toontown Rewritten is the number one thing, and I think they peak at like 2,500 players in peak hours. But there's another one called Corporate Clash that has reimagined the game and has almost like remade it. It's still the core is still there, but they've added just a ton of their own new content, and they just had a big update also. But it's still really fun.
I'm
It's
happy
like
to
a
see that
silly.
community like still kicking? I used to watch my older siblings play Toontown.
Yeah, I grew up watching my uncle play it, and it's still a huge thing in the community. They run their own conventions. Like they have their own real life convention nowadays for it. So
It's awesome.
it's really, really cool. But that's sort of all I've been playing.
Yeah, we were talking last night about it, and I always find that really cool when fans take it upon themselves and hopefully not get uh uh DMCA to, like, when they take the upon themselves to do the servers and they don't get shut down. Like, it's really, really cool. And like, I see it right now with the Wii, with Mario Kart and Smash and a bunch of stuff on Wii, that they make their own private servers for people to still play online, with Mario Kart being the biggest one with all the custom tracks.
They almost got DMCA'd at one point, because the primary like Toontown Written was vibing, but there was like 7 other private servers that still had like a good community to them, and one of the bigger ones, uh, back in 2015, put them on Steam Greenlight when that was a thing,
Oh my gosh.
and almost screwed up everything. Because if Disney shut down them off Steam Greenlight, then they would have went after every private server.
Yeah. Oh man. All right. Well, are you planning on playing anything soon, Brandon?
Um, I got Kirby somewhere around here that I need to find. Yeah, I got Kirby. That's happening at some point after Mario Rabbids. I'll probably get to Frontiers at some point. I don't know. Yeah. But for now, just Overwatch, and then Mario Rabbids, and then Kirby, and then probably Frontiers after that, I would imagine.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Am I missing one? Do you know something?
No. I was,
Am I
no.
forgetting
No.
one?
I was maybe Xenoblade 3 or 4 or something. I don't know. All right. So, Lou, what have you been playing recently?
I've been playing a lot of Modern Warfare 2.
Mm-hmm.
Playing Persona 5 Royal. And mostly that's it.
Okay. So Persona 5 Royal, and Modern Warfare 2. Are you trying to get done with the Battle Pass for Overwatch 2, or did you already do it?
I'm still doing it. I got like 5 more tiers left.
Okay, you'll make it there too then. Okay.
Yeah.
What we talked a little bit about Modern Warfare last time. But I don't think we talked about you doing Persona 5 last time, because you started that up again this past week, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Has everyone here played Persona? Or planning to?
I've played vanilla.
Okay, you played. Okay, so you did that, and then Russ, you played it.
Yep, I played the vanilla one too.
Okay, Lou, where are you at right now? Because I know the last time we talked, you were in Kaneshiro.
Yeah. I just finished Futala's Palace today.
Oh, cool. Okay, that was good. The next one is kind of rough.
So I'll say the next one is where I dropped Persona 5. It's tough.
Yeah, the next one's tough, and they made it tougher in Royal. The bosses, they added something new to each boss in Royal. So, if you need any tips,
I got it. Don't worry about it.
okay. That boss is, oh my god, that boss pissed me off. I don't know, Brandon, do you remember the boss fight for that one?
The one after. I don't know how spoiler heavy you have to be. We just said Futama's
Well,
Palace,
the
which
one
might be a kicker.
don't say the next one, just because for Luke, because he doesn't know what it is. But do you remember the
I know.
boss?
Yeah, I remember I have a love-hate relationship, because I think that's one of the best places to explore, but that boss sucks.
Yeah. Okay. All right then. We'll move on to Brittany. Brittany, what have you been up to?
So I've been playing God of War Ragnarok on stream. Outside of stream, Jeremy forced me to start Violet so we could play co-op, and then I caught up to him, and we haven't played co-op yet. So
Oh my god.
that's on pause. And then something exciting is yesterday I got to show my younger cousins Bayonetta, and they had never seen Bayonetta before, and they got an absolute kick out of the fact that she fights with her hair and that there's like she walks around like a supermodel when she fights and stuff, and it was very funny watching their reaction. They were just like rolling on the ground laughing, and then they were doing the combat, and my one of my younger cousins, she doesn't play a whole ton of video games, but she was playing. And my other cousin who does play a lot of video games, he goes, "Oh my god, Lauren, you're popping off." And it was really fun. So we played that, and then we played Smash Bros. And they were like, "Oh yeah, she's the character in Smash Bros. I hate that character in Smash Bros." But it was fun. Jeremy wiped the floor with all of us, and I told him he's being mean because he won't let the younger cousins win. So
how old were the cousins that you showed Bayonetta to?
they were one was 15 and the other was 17, and Jeremy played the opening cutscene, which has Bayonetta like practically naked in it, and so I was like, no, don't play the opening cutscene. My aunt's gonna walk in and start screaming at me, wondering what the heck I'm showing my cousins.
Okay.
It was really funny.
Yeah, I love I love doing that. I love looking at people's reactions. I love showing people games and then seeing how they react to it. But Bandit is a really good choice. What have you? Oh, I guess we'll talk about it in a little bit. But so I'll skip Pokemon for now. But Ragnarok, what are your thoughts on it so far?
I really like it. The first Ragnarok, or the first God of War game I ever played was 2018, so I don't have a big connection with like past Kratos, but I did. It's kind of cool because I got to watch my dad play it a lot growing up. And so the when I played 2018, my dad was the one who was kind of like pushing me to play. He's like, "It's really good." He's like, "You don't need to play the other ones." He's like, "You already got the gist. Like, Kratos was a Greek guy and he fought like Greek gods, and now like he's in a different place." And so I played through it, and that year I went in with really high expectations to Spider-Man, and I thought Spider-Man, like, I didn't even think twice about God of War. I was like, I'm not going to care about this game. And I played I played God of War, and I loved it. And then I played Spider-Man after, and I was actually like semi-disappointed by Spider-Man because I liked God of War so much in the way it played. And then when I played Spider-Man, I was like, this is really good. But I feel like if I would have played this before God of War, I almost would have liked it more.
Oh, okay.
And then, but yeah, no, the new God of War is great because it develops the characters a lot more. There's a lot more like dialogue, which I've heard some people complain about, but I like dialogue. I like when there's no like empty air and empty travel between characters. It's one of my favorite things about Sony games is usually they lean really dialogue heavy, and this God of War leans way more dialogue heavy than the last one, and the characters feel more like characters. I know you said you wanted to touch on Kratos. Kratos is a lot more communicative, I guess, this time around. It's less like a grunt or two between him and Atreus, and it's more like, I'm concerned for you, which is like the nicest way like Kratos can kind of say something. But it's just cool to see like how his character has kind of, I guess, softened a little bit.
Yeah, you can definitely tell like a lot of development throughout it, and I did want to touch on Kratos, where you can tell that you can almost see and feel like how hard he's trying. I guess it's so weird to say, and there's a specific moment I'm thinking of in the area that you're in. There's actually a few moments specifically in the area that you're in that hit me where like I did play the other God of War, so I don't know if it will hit you as much, but even if you don't play it, there are things said in the dialogue that you can just tell, and it's really, really good, and it makes me really happy that both Judge and Sunny are up in the nominees, because I think both of them are doing a fantastic job in Ragnarok, and I'm really excited to play more.
Absolutely. The whole cast, if it wasn't like so, if it wouldn't skew the entire Game Awards, I would like Brock, Sindri, Mimir, Freya, all of them are just like wonderfully performed. Like they're all super believable. There's not an ounce of like campy video game dialogue in there. It's just very cinematic and very well voice acted. I One thing that I think is I really think that The Last of Us 2 played some sort of role in inspiring a lot of the decisions they chose to take this game's direction. I won't go into any more detail than that because again, I don't want to get into any spoiler territory, but I definitely feel that there's like some parallels between the games. Like there's definitely some stuff that I feel like was kind of inspired by it.
Okay. Okay, I can see it. Man, Russ, you gotta let us know when you play it, because I want to talk about the opening, the first hour of the game, like right away. There's something that happens in the first hour that I want to talk to you and Brittany about, and I'm like, oh my god. But I'll move past Ragnarok, and when as I play more of it and as Russ you play more of it, we'll probably come back again and talk more about it. There's I did want to touch on Frontiers a bit because you said you platinumed it, Russ. So you mentioned that you really enjoyed it. I am on the final island right now, with the platinum. Was it a difficult platinum? Did you find it really
No.
easy?
Yeah, I think it's rated 2 out of 10 on PSN profiles. It was more tedious than anything.
Okay.
I think the worst one was getting max level for all of your stats, like the run speed, rings, and stuff like that.
That's what I was wondering about. Did you do a lot of fishing for that?
Yep, that was the easiest way to do it. And then I think on the last island, everything's unlimited, so you can just fish and then buy everything that you need. So that was really helpful because I did not want to find all those little cocos everywhere.
Okay. And I wanted to get your thoughts on like the writing and story of it, because that's like, I see a lot of Sonic fans happy about it, and then I see a lot of critics say it's bad, like really, really, really bad. So I want to know what you think of it.
I didn't think it was bad. It was definitely different from a Sonic series. It felt a lot more serious, and it was like getting more in depth of the characters, which I kind of liked. Like it kind of told like how every character was feeling and where they kind of want to go. And I think at least to me, it felt like it kind of set up for another game. I don't know if it would be another Frontiers, like a Frontiers 2, or if it would be something totally different. But I like that there was like a little more character development in it. I do think the story itself was kind of forgettable.
Okay.
Like I said, I liked it, but it wasn't. Like, I don't think I'd go back and play it again anytime soon.
Okay. I think right now I'm enjoying the story. I love all the references to the previous games. Like all of them, those references I didn't even think that they would reference. Like they reference writers at some point. I'm like, what? You reference writers? Is Jet canon? Because he mentions Jet. He's like, I wonder how Jet's doing. And I'm like, huh? Then, but more than everything else, there's a lot of adventure references.
I noticed that too.
There's a lot of adventure references. Like, did you listen to the egg memos?
Yep.
The egg memos, he talks about the arc reactor. Like there's a lot of adventure references, and even in the main story, I think adventure is the adventure, and I think they reference Lost World in the main story.
They also reference Sonic 3 in the main story.
Oh yeah. They did. I think.
Did they reference Unleashed at all?
They did. There is an Unleashed reference in there. I think that one is somewhere around the island, though. I don't think that one is in the story. But I think
must have missed that one, because there's some like you have to stand in like a very specific spot on the island, and then like it'll zoom out and Sonic will say, "Oh, I remember this. It looks just like from something."
Yeah. there's a lot of really interesting references and like one-liners. Like there was in The Last Island, there's a spot where if you stand in, he says he's like, "Oh, Zavok would love this place. I wonder how he's doing." Oh, bad, I hope. And he laughs like that too. Like, oh my.
Yeah.
It's like, and Brandon, you brought it up before. Like, you're surprised they would even reference Lost World.
It seems like a game they want to forget, but I mean, it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Not from what I know.
I
And,
like
mean,
Lost
but-
World.
and they referenced Forces too. They referenced
Yeah.
Forces somewhere in there too. I was like, I don't know what game they didn't reference besides the storybook games, which makes sense because I think those were like especially isolated. But I think other than that, they referenced everything. And that again, where you were saying, Russ, you think it's setting something up, and it was said in an interview. And I don't want to get my hopes up, but it like how the characters are talking with all the references, especially in the main story, especially with Tails. There's something that happens with Tails, and it gives me a small glimmer of hope that they might want to actually do a third adventure game.
That was my thought while playing the game, just because of the amount of references to adventure games.
The Cocos.
Like yeah, like you said, like the majority of the references were for adventure, either one or two.
Yeah.
I would be really happy for that.
Yeah.
Sonic Adventure 2 is my favorite Sonic game, so hopefully it would be able to live up to it, but I wouldn't hold my breath even if it did come out that it would actually be that good.
Yeah, and it would be really interesting. Like you're saying, it's setting up how everyone's feeling, how everyone would go, and it sets up that they're all want to do something, and it'd be really interesting if Adventure 3 served as a pseudo sequel to Frontiers and the Adventure 1 and 2, and it showed where everyone went, and it sets up a story where eventually some Avengers type thing they come back together. They come back together near the end. It'd just be really there's like so many thoughts that go on when playing it. I'm surprised they even brought back Big for it was a fishing mini game, but I'm surprised that they even brought him back.
I was so surprised when he just randomly showed up. I don't remember the last game he was in.
Brandon, do you remember, or anyone?
Wasn't in Forces. Yeah, he wasn't in
He
Forces.
wasn't in Forces. He
Would it be
wasn't.
Generations?
He wasn't in Generations, unless it was
Was he not?
unless you count
Unless it was
the
like
the 3DS version, maybe
Was he in Colors?
the 3DS version of Colors.
There's a 3DS version of Colors.
Yeah, there's a
Uh-huh.
3DS version of Colors. He wasn't in Unleashed. He wasn't in
He was
06.
He was in Sonic
the,
Speed
The Black
Simulator?
Knight.
Ooh, not from what I could see. He was.
Was it Heroes?
Well, I mean, do you count racing games?
No, I'm talking like the 3D Sonic games that like the main 3D Sonic games. I think his Heroes was his last time.
Oh, he made the Olympics. Good for him. God.
There we go.
Yeah, DS version of Colors, console PC version of Generations. He had a cameo.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
he's mentioned in Sonic and the Black Knight. That's weird to just mention him. I don't know in what context.
He's mentioned in Black Knight.
Yeah, Heroes is the last time he wasn't a cameo. I mentioned.
Dang.
wow.
The Dark Brotherhood.
No.
Sonic Chronicles.
No, absolutely not.
Oh, was Chronicles mentioned at all in Frontiers? The like DS RPG Sonic game?
Not that I remember.
It sounds like, to me it sounds like they did, but it was like again, it was like one of the one-liners. There's so many. If I would have to find the tweet, but there's like a tweet of someone compiling a bunch of random lines that have a possibility to pop up, and if I find it, I'll send it to you, because there's a lot of really cool ones. I think the one that did surprise me the most though was the writer's mention, where he talks about Jet. Like, what?
Yeah. And I think Eggman mentioned the Babylon Rogues a couple times too.
Yes, in the story he did. He mentioned like he's like, this tech is more advanced than the Babylon Rogues, the Echidnas, and like it's just really, really cool. All right, let's move on to Pokemon now. Because that is the only recent game that I can think of notable. There was one that Xbox Studios released, I think, Pentulum, something like that. But that one also, like I said, I don't want to flew under the radar for everyone. But Pokemon Scarlet Violet, 10 million copies in 3 days. That's 10 million copies in 3 days. That's biggest launch for Nintendo. And I don't know if it's the biggest launch for a video game, but I'd imagine so. I cannot think of another game that sold 10 million in 3 days.
I'm sure Forces got close.
That's
Splatoon
God
sold
of
like
War
around like 8 million.
Ragnarok sold like hotcakes. I don't know. I think it sold 5 million.
yeah. I think Scarlet and Violet has sold almost as many Wii U's that there are out there in 3 days.
Don't remind me.
And it's probably already outsold the amount of Wii U's that there are. As a Metacritic score of 76, that's the lowest mainline Pokemon game, and a user score, review bombed, of course, of 2.9. Now, before we talk about all the issues and things we like and everything about it, yes, performance issues. It is being compared to Cyberpunk, and I don't think it should be, based off of how Cyberpunk launched. And both Russ and Brittany, you can tell me more about what you guys think, because you guys are the ones that played it. But from the outside, not having played it yet, it seems like it got absolutely thrashed by critics for performance issues. And online, I see that if the performance was better, and even with how it's happening right now, I see this online. This is one of the best Pokemon games, or one of the best generations. And I don't know. I don't know. What are both of your thoughts? What do you guys think?
I have mixed feelings about it. I really like the open world of it. It makes it really hard to complete the Pokedex, I've noticed. The way the Pokemon spawn, so like in all the past Pokemon games, you had a route and you could just look up what route something's on, just run in the grass till you find it. And then this one, there's only, I want to say, like, there's a north, south, east, and west, and there's 3 or 4 different sections of it that are they're named like North Section 1, North Section 2, and they're really big, and you just kind of have to walk around until you find like the right spot. And like, I'm looking for a Blissey now, and it spawns in flowers, and the whole area is in flowers.
So no,
you just don't really know where to look. But overall, I like it. I think the game has a lot of like ease of use updates to it. Like Pokemon are easier to level up with the experience you're always being on. The game is actually hard to me. It's not like so hard to where it's unbeatable or anything, but I actually struggled. I blacked out a couple times, and I don't remember the last time I did that in a Pokemon game. It's weird because you can just do any gym in any order you want, but you can't. I think they said that you can play it in any order you want and play how you want, but you really can't. Nothing scales to you. So like the first, you can like kind of split in 2 different directions at the beginning. Both of those first gyms are very easily beatable as the first gym. But then if you go to the second gym this way, they're level 45. So it's like a big level spike. So you kind of have to like find your way around. But yeah, overall I liked it. The performance issues I would not say are anywhere near Cyberpunk. I also played Cyberpunk on launch, and I didn't have too many issues with it. My game crashed 2 or 3 times in Cyberpunk. With Pokemon, there's a lot of slowdown. A lot of like when you're running, like especially when you're riding your legendary, it feels like it's running at like 15 frames a second. But it's not unplayable. And there's a couple like visual glitches, like where the shadows will pop in and out. I took a couple screenshots of like when a Pokemon's evolving, you can see through the ground, like to the void underneath the level. My game crashed once, but it auto saves like every 2 minutes, so I lost nothing. If you're playing it, I would not suggest turning autosave off for that reason, because I've seen a lot of people their games crash, and it only autosaves if you leave it on. So if you turn it off, there's no autosaves at all. So you're up. It's up to you to save, and I wouldn't want to risk that with a game that crashes all the time.
All right. And Brittany, what about you? What do you think about the game overall?
Yeah. So one of the things that I like initially upon playing, because I think I'm about an hour or two into it, so I'm not super far into it, but I have watched a lot of other people like stream it and play it. Um, it's somehow like one of the ugliest games I've ever seen, but also like really pretty at the same time. Like
Uh-huh.
specifically the models on the buildings and like some of the Pokemon and some like specific things. I think buildings the most. Buildings look really, really good and are really, really detailed, and they have like fountains and like little gardens outside them, and it looks really, really nice. But then you go to the open area and I'm like, man, this was like a PS2 game. And it's not like a bad thing. I think it's just kind of it's kind of the nature of the Switch. Like there's only so much they can do. They can't fill it with foliage like they would something else. But overall, I've enjoyed what I've played so far. I second what Cryo said. I don't think it's completely unplayable. Um, if somebody was brand new to Pokemon and they were interested in getting it, I would tell them to wait on this one until they fix it, just because I think the performance issues for somebody who's not like a dedicated Pokemon fan could definitely be a deal breaker. Um, I think it's I'm in two different sides. In one side, I'm like this is kind of unacceptable to release a game like this, like especially with somebody as much prestige as Nintendo. They should have delayed it, and it would have sold either way. It's Pokemon. Like Pokemon breaks records all the time. It's the number one selling franchise in the world. People would have bought it regardless. I think they should have just pushed it back a little bit longer so they could kind of iron out some of these performance issues and make it run a little bit better. But on the same note, I think there's a fun aspect in seeing a Nintendo game run so bad. Like it's almost novel. It's almost fun because, even something like Mario Party 10 or Animal Crossing on the Wii U, like there's still so much polish in those games in terms of how they run. They always run well. They always look good, even if like the gameplay level is not up to snuff. There's always a certain degree of polish. And so like the two games that came to mind when I was considering the performance issues is my immediate thought was Devil's Third, where it was just kind of like Nintendo wasn't entirely supervising the project, but they were like, yeah, just go ahead and release it. It releases, it runs poorly. Of course, like Devil's Third is unsavable. It's not even fun to play, whereas Pokemon is like kind of fun to play. But I almost kind of agree with the Cyberpunk sentiment in that it's probably doesn't run quite as poorly as Cyberpunk did on something like a launch PS4. And it's Cyberpunk wasn't completely unplayable, but it's like there's so much. I think a lot of people see the potential in both Pokemon and Cyberpunk. Like there's this thing where it's people still really like both games, even though like they're being panned by critics and people are like pissed off about performance issues. One of my friends was like, he compared it to Cyberpunk in the sense that he thinks that once it's fixed up, once they polish it, this'll, instead of being like hated and critically panned, that it'll have its kind of like second chance moment where people are like, this is a really good Pokemon game. This is probably one of the best Pokemon games on the Switch, if not the best Pokemon game on the Switch. Already playing it, like I'm way more engaged with it than I was Sword and Shield. Sword and Shield, it was fun, but I feel like it felt empty. Whereas this world, because there's buildings and there's like things to do in the like open world setting, it feels more alive. Like you can see Pokemon kind of running around, you see people walking around, and it just feels more alive. Whereas when you're playing Sword and Shield, it feels lonely. Like it feels a little like barren. It feels like there's not that many characters or kind of things to do. And I know the DLC kind of fixes a lot of those issues, but I haven't played the DLC for Sword and Shield. But I don't think the Cyberpunk comparison in that regard is like a bad one.
Mhm.
Again, I think it's both unacceptable they released it, but also it's kind of exciting for long-term Pokemon fans, like people like us who have been playing them since childhood, where we picked it up day one. We can see people turn into like string cheese when they try to mount on their their motorcycle Pokemon, or to see people like fall through the floor, or see Pokemon like just glitch into the mountain for some reason. It's almost like a funny it's like a funny thing. It's like when people were finding new glitches in Cyberpunk, or when Skyrim first launched and people were like teleporting off the map and stuff. It's funny to see. It's unacceptable it's released, but it's fun for longtime fans. If somebody's new getting into it, I recommend you wait till they iron out the kinks. But I do think that they're gonna iron out the kinks, especially after Nintendo already started doing refunds. I think they've seen that like people are unhappy with the way it performs, but under the gunk and the grime, I think there's a pretty solid Pokemon game.
All right.
I think that with Pokemon specifically, there's a bit of an issue with delaying though. I definitely think it should have been delayed, but they have to release the games for the manga, the anime, the trading cards. And I just saw Sprigatito was added to the anime, I think today.
Yes. Today.
So they had to have the game come out before that came out in the anime. So if they delayed the game, they would have to delay everything.
The plushes, the
Yep.
It's like there's like, and I think that if it were up to Nintendo, you mentioned Devil's Third. If it were up to Nintendo, I think they would have. But Pokemon companies owned in thirds. I think Creatures.
Nintendo owns a third, Creatures, and then Game Freak I think just owns
Yeah.
themselves. The last.
Yeah, I think that's how it is. So, I think if it were up to them, I think they would. But like Russ was saying, like Sprigatito was just added today, and that's crazy because there's so much that goes into it that this dev cycle they need. We saw this a little bit with Diamond and Pearl, where they didn't make Diamond and Pearl. They outsourced it.
Arceus Legends I think was also outsourced.
I think more of that was outsourced. I think it was still made in house though. I think they need to do more outsourcing with Game Freak leading it. Maybe like Three Houses with Intelligent Systems and Koei Tecmo, where Koei Tecmo helped a lot on it, and I don't know how. It seems this Nintendo gets Monolith to do a crap ton of stuff. Maybe they can get Monolith, like Monolith C team. It doesn't even need to be their B team or A team. Like if they get like Monolith C team to like help with some of the environment or optimization, even anything like that, I think would help, especially because the next gen is going to be Gen 10. It's the 10th generation. I feel like they're going to go big for it. And I think it's gonna line up. I think so. They always do it every 3 to 4 years, and in 4 years is their 30th anniversary. I think it's the 30th anniversary. Yeah, 30th anniversary. So have a 30th anniversary with the Gen 10. I think they're gonna want to strike hard, and they can't have this situation happen again for Gen 10 if they're gonna make a big deal out of it. So. We'll see where it goes. But that's Pokemon, and hopefully they do end up fixing it because it looks really good, and I am gonna be streaming it, so I hope that it is fixed. either by the time I stream or sometime in the middle of me streaming it.
I think it'd be kind of impossible for them not to fix, just given the whole refund situation. But also, if they want to milk it like they did Sword and Shield and release 2 different DLC packs, like people aren't gonna want to buy the DLC if the base game isn't kind of fixed first.
Yeah. All right, but yeah, that's what released, and now in 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks now, is a little bit less than 2 weeks is the Game Awards, and that's what we're gonna be doing for the rest of the podcast. We have our picks and our predictions, and sometimes they overlap and sometimes they don't. Like how I'm gonna be gaslighting myself later tonight. So we're going to go through each category. Some are going to go faster than others. And we're going to be skipping the esports ones. Sorry, Brandon. I know how big you are into Dota. and League.
Love Dota. I love when Gabe Newell stands on stage and says hello. It's my favorite part.
So we're gonna be going starting from the end and skipping the esports. The first one that we have is most anticipated game, and here I think me and Brandon came up with a list on the previous episode, and we got it wrong. Most of it, actually, we got most of them right. Me, Brandon, and Lou got most of them right, but we did miss Hogwarts Legacy. So the list we have right here is Final Fantasy 16, Hogwarts Legacy, Resident Evil 4, Starfield, and Tears of the Kingdom. Instead of Hogwarts Legacy, I think we said Spider-Man 2 would get in, but it's not in.
Is that coming out next year?
They said it's 2023.
Isn't Wolverine also coming out next year?
I think Wolverine didn't have a date attached to it. I assumed Wolverine was always going to be 2024.
Gotcha.
But they could surprise us. I think Wolverine's going to be smaller scale than Spider-Man, so they could. But I don't expect Spider-Man to be until holiday.
Maybe that's why they're like, because isn't the Game Awards cutoff? It's before like December, November, so maybe they're not putting anticipated for next year because they're anticipating that it'll get pushed back.
Yeah, maybe then, yeah, because everything here releases in Final Fantasy is the only one that doesn't have a date. But those are the games. What are you guys thinking? What are you guys thinking? What wins this?
I feel like it has to be Zelda.
Breath of the Wild.
Wow.
Tears the Kingdom. Okay, so Lou, you think it's just
Yeah,
the
I say it's Zelda.
Okay. Is the upset here like Hogwarts Legacy? Is that the upset that wins?
Well, I voted for.
I don't super care like who wins because I'm not particularly super excited for any of these, but I'm excited to watch other people play them if that makes sense. Like I'm experiencing secondhand excitement for a lot of these because none of them are like franchises I'm super attached to. But I'm excited because I know people are really excited for Resident Evil or Hogwarts Legacy or Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
Final Fantasy, I don't know anybody who's really excited for that.
Okay, I'm excited for Final Fantasy 16. So now
there you go. I'm excited for you.
Thank you. I think I'm picking up Final Fantasy, Resident Evil 4, and Tears of the Kingdom. Those are the three I'm getting on this list.
I did vote for Zelda though.
What's up, Brand?
I did vote for Zelda. I checked.
Oh, okay.
It works now on Chrome. Also, my.
Oh, it works on Chrome now. Okay.
Works. Yeah.
Okay, and Brittany, what did you just say?
I thought I was forgetting a game. It's Final Fantasy, Resident Evil, Tears of the Kingdom, and Hogwarts Legacy. Is there a fifth game?
Starfield.
Oh, sleep.
So yeah, I'm so disinterested in Starfield.
Yeah.
I'm
sorry, Starfield. I don't care.
Yeah.
Isn't it Bethesda's making it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I double don't care.
That was okay. Yeah, I'm not interested in Starfield. After that is Best Adaptation, and this one surprised me because
I like this category.
Yeah, this category is great. One of these don't belong here because it didn't come out this year, but it's gonna win, and that's Arcane.
Arcane didn't come out this year?
No, Arcane came out last year.
When?
November.
It's the cutoff date. I'm telling you.
It's the cutoff date. Brandon, what did you mention about this category? Like, why was it made?
It was made. They made it for Arcane because they don't want to. They don't ever want to have a situation where Arcane happens and they can't capitalize on it.
That's a good point.
So we have Arcane, Cyberpunk Edgerunners, The Cuphead Show, Sonic 2, and Uncharted. Arcane's winning.
I've got strong feelings on all of these because I've seen all of them and I really like all of them. I know Uncharted is easily probably the worst out of them, but also there's a scene in the movie where the pirate ship is flying. It's so cool. I'm like watching this. I'm like, this is so dumb, but I love this.
Yeah.
Like I'm living for it. Give me Uncharted movie 2. I don't care.
I don't know. I don't know how much money they made from it, but they might make another one.
So apparently, they're they've got Tom Holland roped in for a Jack and Daxter series. I'm like, that's cool. Nobody cares about this series because you guys haven't made a game in like over 12 years. Can I have
Yeah.
a game for? Can I have some, please, Sony? But in terms of like who I would choose for best adaptation for myself, or who they both align with who I'm predicting and who I'm choosing, but it's between Edge Runners or Arcane. I haven't seen I think Arcane's actually the only one I haven't seen, but I've seen Cyberpunk and it's really, really good.
Okay. Russ?
Yeah, I think Arcane's gonna win, but I wanted Cuphead to win. I really liked that one.
It's really good. It's funny.
Mhm.
Brendan?
I think Arcane's gonna win, but I pick Sonic 2.
It's so
I voted
fun.
for Sonic
Sonic
2.
2 is really good.
And
Fun movie.
yeah, Lou, do you have?
I feel like I don't know. The only one I've seen from here is probably Sonic, because I don't really watch like shows like that.
Okay. Do you think Arcane's winning?
Maybe.
Okay. I think Arcane's winning. I also voted for Sonic though. I also voted for Sonic. But if it's not Arcane, it's Cyberpunk. It's one of those two.
I could see a scenario where Sonic 2 comes for the upset, because honestly, like the first Sonic movie was a lot of fun nonsense, but the second Sonic movie is like fun nonsense turned up to 20. And I'm not even like a diehard Sonic fan by any means, but I freaking love the Sonic 2 movie. Like me
It's
and my
really
friends
good. Mm-hmm.
went and saw, and we were like screaming and clapping in the theater, and it was just an absolute blast. We went and got chili dogs before.
Oh my god, it's great! Like, it's so good. Everyone in it is just really, really good, and Jim Carrey kills.
What is his name? Dr. Stone.
Dr. Stone.
Jim Carrey's sidekick and Eggman sidekick in the movie. Like, he's so fun on Twitter. Like, people post about him and they're like, "Make him canon. Put him in Frontier.
Yeah.
Make him canon."
Idris Elba killed it as Knuckles.
Yes. He said, "Do you know the way?" He said the line.
Yeah. It's like they made Knuckles so freaking cute in like in some of those scenes. Like when he's sitting at the at the desk in Eggman's
It's like-
lair.
He's got his big old knuckles and he's just sitting there. I love when he's trying to like figure out the way stuff works, and he's like, what is this?
Yeah.
And I'll explain to him. It's so fun.
It's so good. I think it's my only gripe in the movie, and I think they're gonna fix it for Sonic 3 because they've been a little cheeky, especially with what they're doing with the after credits and stuff. I think they're gonna have, for one, I think they're gonna have Crush 40 in the next one, and for two, they need orchestral renditions or remixed versions of video game music can work in movies. They work. I would have in that snowboarding section, like the whole action sequence, if they would have done an Ice Cap remix, that would have gone so well. And like there's like so many moments where the soundtrack is solid, but it could have been more. And this one doesn't fit. Brandon commented it doesn't relate to Sonic, but it fits. What is at the beginning when they played It's Tricky, like it fit, and it didn't make sense, but it fit with Sonic as a character, and not all the music choices fit. But I do wish they would have chosen some more video game music in it.
One last thing about Sonic that I want to say is that out of like all of the like a cartoon character in real life scenario situations, Sonic 2 has some of like the most fun like real life characters. Like the whole wedding scene is a riot. I was like dying. I was like, this is brilliant when the golf cart freaking explodes and everything. I'm like, this is so ridiculous. I love it.
It is, and it's like I think it just the whole human character. Oh my god! If they show Maria in the next movie, I mean,
No. Piss. Now kiss.
Oh no, it's gonna go. There's gonna be a lot of really really cool things that they can do. They're gonna, and I hope they show. I hope they show Shadow's backstory. They need to. They need to have Maria get shot. They need to they need to have Shadow see that his eyes just widen before he gets put in cryostasis, and then he wakes up angry. It's gonna.
You
it's
better
so
say
good.
hell and damn, or
Oh,
else
yeah, it has
I'm
to.
boycotting the movie.
The fourth Chaos Emerald. It's just it's at the end of next year. No, is it at the end of next year? No, wait.
No, the following year. I
Following
think.
year, end of
They're like,
2024, I
they
think.
skip a
Oh,
year.
yeah. I wish we could get it sooner, but when it happens, I'm gonna be lined up in the theater. I'm flying Brandon over here so he could watch it this time, and
You guys are gonna cosplay, right?
Yeah. I'll be Shadows. Brandon can be Sonic.
That one.
I'll try to convince Lou to show up too, so he can be Knuckles or something.
No.
No, Lou.
No, tell me right now. No.
Come on.
Nah.
Russ, do you want to shave your head and be Eggman?
I would do it.
See, we can do it. We can do it. Okay, but the more we talk about it, the more I gaslight myself into thinking it can upset it. So we're gonna go to best debut indie, and right here we have Neon White, Norco, Stray, Tunic, and Vampire Survivors. And I think Stray's gonna win because there's no way Stray doesn't win this if it's in the Game of the Year category. That's my thought process on it.
Yep.
Stray's the only one I've played, so I have no context of the other ones.
Neon White, I've seen gameplay of. It looks really, really cool. I have yet to play it. It kind of sucks that it came out the same year as Stray, because Stray is gonna win. I'm thinking it's gonna win like every indie category, just because it's a really big indie, like in terms of its like visuals and what it's doing. It very much like looks and even plays to an extent like a AAA game. So I think Stray will take this category, and I'm also rooting for Stray to take the category. Meow, cat. Agree.
Brandon, Lou.
I think Stray wins. Who? I hope this doesn't come off as rude, but who are the Stray people? Like, are they like past developers from somewhere else? It's kind of crazy for your debut indie to be up for Game of the Year at like the biggest award show.
It's published by Annapurna, and Annapurna has published a lot of like really stellar indie titles. So I think they did What Remains of Edith Finch. They did Outer Wilds. They did a really, really big one. Sayonara Wild Hearts. Pretty big. They've done a lot of like pretty heavy hitter stuff. So I think Annapurna like offered the company money. I think they helped pay.
They also did Neon White.
Annapurna did Neon White?
Yeah, they also did Neon White.
That
Huh.
game looks so cool.
Stray, Outer Wilds, Neon White, Where Remains of Edith Finch, Solar Ash, 12 Minutes, The Artful Escape, Sayonara, The Pathless.
Some of their other games are up for awards too. Like besides Neon White and Stray, I think there's like two other ones I saw in the other game.
Okay, let's see. So this is a Stray sweep for everyone.
Yeah.
Stray sweep.
Yeah.
Okay, then content creator of the year, Carl Jacobs, Ludwig, Nebelian, Nobru, and QT Cinderella. I voted for Nebelian.
Same.
So for me, I didn't vote. I haven't voted yet, but the only one I've heard of is Ludwig, and I also think Ludwig's gonna win because I see him
think
pop
so.
up all the time. I don't know anything about him, but that's just my prediction.
I got no input on this one.
And Lou?
Ludwig.
Ludwig. Okay, so yeah, I think Ludwig's winning. I think he's the biggest one. So I'm pretty sure he'll win that one. After that, it's best multiplayer, and this one was interesting. We have Modern Warfare 2, Multiverses, Overwatch 2, Splatoon 3, and Shredder's Revenge.
I was surprised to see multiverses in this one.
I was surprised to see Shredder's Revenge.
Wait, Shredder's Revenge multiplayer is an online multiplayer?
It is, but
Huh.
it's I think it's only with friends.
That's
think it's all-
interesting.
So that's
Big
why I
first
was that's so surprised. I think based off of reception, it's between Splatoon 3 or Modern Warfare 2.
I agree with that.
I would pick Splatoon 3, but honestly, I kind of think that Multiverse is a giant meme, and so I kind of think it's between Multiverse and Call of Duty. Because I think. Go ahead.
No, you finish.
No, I was just gonna say I feel like people are gonna rally behind Multiverse for some reason because even when the game like launched, people rallied behind it, and I still know people who like play it religiously for memes, and people still meme on it. So I think it may just get voted in for memes.
I don't know anyone that plays it. Actually, I don't know anyone that plays it, but I think it's winning fighting game, which we'll get to later. But I don't think it wins multiplayer. The one I've gotten into the most is Overwatch 2, which is that's what I voted for, but I don't think it's winning it. And I don't even think it deserves it. I don't even think Overwatch 2 deserves it. I think Splatoon 3 deserves it. But I think it's between Splatoon 3 or Modern Warfare 2.
I think Call of Duty's going to win it just because Splatoon is a little more niche. I think a lot more people play Call of Duty.
That's what I'm thinking. Just because Call of Duty's on like every console, I think, except Switch, whereas you have to have a Switch in order to play it. And I think a lot of people again kind of shrug off the Nintendo first party stuff because they're like, that's for babies.
Yeah. Yeah, that is. Let's see what else. Lou, what did you vote for, or what do you think is gonna win?
I've not voted, but for me, it's between Splatoon 3 or Modern Warfare 2.
Okay, and Brandon, what do you think's winning?
It's difficult because they all could win. Yeah, I'll go Call of Duty. I voted for Overwatch, but unfortunately I voted for Overwatch. I'll go Call of Duty.
Okay. All right. After that, we're skipping best sports and racing. I voted Ollie Ollie.
I think Gran Turismo will win. I'll say that.
Oh,
After F1.
after the launch.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know anything about the launch. I was just like, Gran Turismo's there. I think that'll win.
Ollie Ollie just looks interesting, so that's why I voted Ollie Ollie.
I hope that wins over the rest. Because what is it? It's like FIFA and Madden and
FIFA, F1, FIFA, NBA, and Gran Turismo.
I sleep. Let's go, Ollie Ollie. Upset them.
Yeah. After that, best sim strategy. You got Dune Spice Wars, Mario Rabbids, Warhammer 3, 2 Point Campus, and Victoria 3. I think Sparks of Hope wins.
I also, yeah.
Anyone disagree with that?
Yeah,
What's up, Lou? What do you think wins?
I think 2 Point Campus wins.
Oh man.
What is 2 Point Campus?
Actually, I have no idea. I was just joking. But
Sim game. It's a Sega sim game.
But what
It's
is it?
actually fun. Well, I've only played 2 Point Hospital, but it's the same thing, basically, just different theme.
The cover art for all those games, like I look at them, I'm like, this looks like some PS2 era. Like your grandma picks it up for you, open it at Christmas, and you're just disappointed. Like it just looks like bad. It's bad looking. I'm sure it's a great game.
Go ahead.
It's sim and like City Skylines. It's like that. That type of sim.
It's like, well, with Campus, you own I think it's you own a school,
Mhm.
and yeah, it's like Sims but with school. Like it's a school sim. and
It's like boring bully.
It's like funny though.
Is it?
It's really weird.
I'll have to check it out. I'll
Yeah.
have to take a look at it.
Who's that? And then can someone back me up here? No one's backed me up. No one's backed me up. Why is it a triangle strategy here? It has strategy in the name.
That's a triangle strategy game.
No,
Different.
no. It should be here. It's in best RPG, and it should not be in best RPG. It should be in best strategy. And I am upset. It should not.
It's too triangle. It was a circle hole. It couldn't fit.
Oh my god. Triangle strategy should have been in here. Best family: Kirby, Lego Star Wars, Sparks of Hope, Switch Sports, and Splatoon 3. What does everyone think is winning?
I
Um,
voted for Kirby, but I think Splatoon's gonna win.
I think for like widespread appeal, I also think it's between Splatoon or the Skywalker Saga, just because I know like when it was released and everything, people were all over it, and I know personally a ton of people played it. But I would also say Kirby, like in terms of family game, right? Like that an entire family can enjoy and play together. I think Kirby is that. Like people can sit down and pick up and play Kirby, and it's easy for like the youngest little kid to play, but it's also fun enough for like an older gamer to play, and it's new, like it's also like a fresh take on the Kirby series. So if somebody's like an older Kirby fan, they'll enjoy it. But also if like I know a ton of people who this was their like kids' first game that they beat, or it's a lot of people's like first Kirby game, and like kids could power through it, but also it was like fun enough, and there was like enough collectibles and side things to do that older audiences enjoyed it too. So I think it's the best family game, but I do think Splatoon or Skywalker Saga will take it.
Okay.
Yeah, Splatoon probably takes it. I mean, it's probably Splatoon. I don't know.
I don't think Splatoon might win. Because when I think of a family game, I think of like where people just like many people can sit down and play the game
Uh-huh.
like together, not like individually.
Uh-huh.
So I think it's either between Kirby or maybe Switch Sports.
Okay. I voted for Kirby. It Takes Two won last year for some reason for best family game. You guys have played It Takes Two. That's not a family game. I mean, it's a game about a family, but it's not a family game. So that has led me to believe that the critics are just gonna vote for the game they like the most. So I voted for Kirby and Forgotten Land. I think has a decent shot at winning. If you're looking at it from the perspective that you should be looking at it as where the game where the family can play for family play, I think the upset here would be Switch Sports. I think Switch Sports could come in and swipe this pretty easily, because
I mean, it is the one where like the whole family can play. Like
Yeah.
everything else is like 2-player, or like I don't even know. I'm not like I love Splatoon, but I don't know why it's there. Like you have to have 2 copies of Splatoon, right, to play Splatoon, and a whole nother Switch. So it's like, yeah, if you have like a rich family with like every single kid owns a Switch and every single kid also bought Splatoon for $60, then sure, like yeah, it's a family game, I guess.
Yeah, and everything else, Mario Rabbids I think it might have a 2-player. I know the first game had a 2-player mode. I don't
Is
know
that
if it
on there?
returned. Yeah, Sparks of Hope is on here. Skywalker Saga is also 2 players, and Kirby's 2 players. I think Switch Sports is the sleeper here that can just come in and just take it.
I feel like Sparks of Hope, like yes, I think like kids can play it and stuff, but I mean like the XCOM style of gameplay, like that very strategic gameplay, I could not ever envision like some little kid being like, yes, I'm ready to play this.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, so Kirby is what I went. And now we got the best fighting game, which get out of here, Sifu. We have DNF Duel.
Wait, so what is Sifu a fighting game?
No, it's not.
What is it? It's just a beat 'em up game, right?
It's a
like it's a style. It's like Devil May Cry, kind of.
It's a beat 'em up, and I guess it has like fighting game mechanics. I don't know, like
You
the
fight in the game. I don't know what more you want. I mean,
okay,
The
we
only
are,
fighting in the game I'm gonna do is fighting the game out of the awards.
yeah, I'm gonna just out of here. DNF Duel, JoJo, King of Fighters 15, Multiverses, and Sifu, and I think Multiverses wins.
Yeah, I think Multiverse will win. If I were to vote, I would say JoJo, because even though it's kind of like weird because it isn't a new game, it's a remake of a PS3 game, but it's a really 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 solid fighter overall, and they added a bunch of DLC characters and polished it up. I've heard nothing but great things about it.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Multiverses wins, but I voted Sifu.
God, I can't believe you.
Yeah, I did. It's a
You know what?
very
I'm gonna go
like,
vote Sifu now.
it was. I think it got received very well critically. So,
Yeah,
I
no,
mean, I would be
Sifu,
worried.
Sifu did get very well received.
Yeah, 80.
I think FGC is gonna be pissed if Sifu wins, though. I think that's
I
gonna
hope
cause a massive shitstorm online. There's no way Sifu wins this.
Multiverse has LeBron James in it.
Yeah.
That's just win.
God. No. Russ, what do you think wins?
I think Multiverses is gonna win, but I wish JoJo would.
Okay.
It's so good, so fun.
I still haven't played it yet.
What? I played the PS3 version, so that's what I'm basing my opinion on.
Okay.
I played that one, so I have somewhat of an opinion, I guess.
Yeah. Where's Persona 4 Arena?
Get out of here. Actually, no, the arena games are really, really fun. But isn't it? It's just a port, right?
Yeah, it is, but see, it could have.
I mean, JoJo's also a port, but they're like, hey, we put new content in the new game.
Yeah, they did put new content. Okay. Best. Oh my god. Okay, this one pissed me off. I'm gonna read right to left. I'm gonna read right to left and tell me if you find anything out of place.
Okay.
Because I don't know. I've had this talk with Brandon and a few others, and I don't know it. So we have Xenoblade 3, Triangle Strategy. Should be strategy, but then Legends Arceus, Live Alive, and then Elden Ring.
Well, we know
Yeah.
who's winning.
I don't understand why Elden Ring is in this category.
Because Elden Ring is literally in every category.
Oh my god.
They would put Elden Ring in best indie if they could.
I don't understand. It should have been. It's not. It should have been an action adventure instead, and it's not an action adventure.
Is it not?
No.
You know what's funny? Is like the basis of why you could put Elden Ring in RPG, you could also put God of War in there. You could also put Horizon Zero Dawn in there.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I was like, why couldn't you just put?
Can we have the Horizon, Elden Ring, Stray, God of War awards, please? Because they're in every category.
Oh man.
Best family game, God of War.
God of War. Hey,
Best sports game, Elden Ring. Best esports team,
Um,
Elden Ring.
Elden Ring. No, I'm sticking to my guns. Xenoblade 3 is winning this. There's no way. Xenoblade 3 cannot lose this category. It can't. Please. Not again.
I'm sorry, you're saying that in front of Triangle Strategy?
Oh, I'm voting for I voted for Xenoblade 3 and I'm 70% confident it's gonna win.
How's your confidence feeling now? Is it lowered any?
No, it's, I'm
In the
at
past few seconds.
I'm at 70%. What do you guys think is
I
winning?
want you to look at Elden Ring again in that category and then tell me your confidence rate.
Oh my god, does everyone think Elden Ring's winning this?
Yeah.
Just because
least
it's
for
in
me.
there.
Yep.
I don't think anything else stands a chance, honestly.
Oh no.
If I were to choose something, I can't choose anything because I don't play RPGs or Elden Ring.
All right, RPGs or Elden Ring. Oh my god.
But I do think Elden Ring's gonna win. If I guess if I were to choose based off of what I've heard, I think I would choose Live Alive because I've heard it's a really great entry point into the JRPG genre, and so I'm kind of curious about it because I've heard it's short, and
Mhm.
I like short games.
It is short. Not every story is short, and it doesn't overstay its welcome. There's like a secret story at the end, but that's not long either.
So just be prepared for Elden Ring to win.
Oh, okay. Now we have best action adventure, and I gotta go for a second, but I'm gonna read the categories and let you guys talk. I'll be gone for like a minute or less. So it's to be A Plague Tale Requiem, God of War Ragnarok, Forbidden West, Stray, and Tunic. I'll be right back, you guys.
It's gotta be God of War, I think. I
It's-
don't think anything else stands a chance.
It should be God of War. Like it's really, really, really good. The only Horizon is also really good, but Horizon they need to stop releasing it on the years that they choose to release it because they just kill it every time. Like they killed it when they released it against Breath of the Wild, and they killed it again releasing against Elden Ring and God of War. But yeah, I think God of War takes it now, so I'm voting for God of War.
I skipped
much
this category.
action? How much
ahead.
action is in the cat game? I mean,
It's more adventure than action.
Yeah, I was about to say it's more. It's like stealth. Like I haven't played all of it, but it's a lot of it seems more like stealth emphasis versus like action. I
Yeah.
guess like the cat jumping around. That's an action, all right.
I voted Stray. No, I haven't played any of these. I voted Stray because it'd be funny.
The cat upset game.
I'd be absolutely
saying.
shocked if the cat beat any of these.
This
Tunic?
is the Stray, Horizon, Elden, God of War awards. I feel bad for Plague's Tale Requiem because honestly, I heard such good things about the first one, and I've heard brilliant things about this one. But again, same thing as Horizon Zero Dawn. Don't release it this year. If you would have came out last year, you would have taken it, Plague's Tale. But this year, it's too much. There's too much competition. It's too stiff.
I think Zelda dodged a bullet.
I think Zelda would have swept possibly. Actually, no. Elden Ring exists. Never mind.
I'm back. What was going on?
We're saying we
Action.
voted Stray.
Everyone voted Stray for this?
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
Okay. I think Ragnarok.
I voted Stray. For the record, I did. No, that was a joke, but I did vote Stray. I did
No,
vote for the
I
funny
think-
little cat game.
I think Ragnarok is gonna take it, and I vote for Ragnarok.
Okay. I agree. I agree. After that's best action game, we have Bayo 3, Modern Warfare 2. That was
Question mark?
I got whiplash saying that. Neon White, Sifu, which belongs here, finally, and Shredder's Revenge. I think Bayo 3 wins.
I hope so. That's what I voted for.
It really should. Out of these,
I think for the best game in the action genre focused primarily on combat.
That's Call of Duty. Yeah.
Why it's called Duty.
it's all combat.
It's all combat.
I guess it's combat.
What do you mean? It's all combat.
Bayo 3.
I think Bayo will win, and I also am voting for Bayo.
I think
I think Turtles has a possibility of winning though, because that game was super hyped.
I
It is
do.
good too.
I do think so. I think Shredder's Revenge has a shot at being the under. I think Sifu has the shot at being the underdog actually, but I if not Bayo 3, I hope it's Shredder's Revenge.
If Bayo 3 wins, Helena Taylor will come on stage and punch the announcer in the face.
No, she's gonna throw a fit online if it wins, and I cannot wait. Has she tweeted since the launch of
No,
Bandit?
she has not said a word. She said to donate to some questionable charities, and then like people were like calling her out for it, and then she just completely pivoted and has gone back to normal. Just happy Thanksgiving. Hope everybody's having a good one. And I'm like, dang, she really is like, yep, I'm done. I'm not Bandit anymore. I'm done with this entire project.
Jeez. It's
Gave up on
cool.
that one real quick.
She doesn't even pop up like she pops up on Twitter.
I think I'm following her, but
Oh,
that's the reason I see her posts.
okay. I looked her up and it didn't pop up for a second. Then I realized I missed one L, so that's my bad. She takes 2 L's instead. Okay, best VR and AR. I voted for Among Us. We got After the Fall, Among Us VR, Bone Lab, Moss Book 2, and Red Matter 2. Among Us wins.
I say Among Us because it's funny.
Among Us wins.
Among Us.
Among Us wins.
Among Us.
Is an Among Us suite from everyone?
I guess.
Among Us.
All right, cool. All right. Innovation and accessibility. So this is a great category. Excellent. Fantastic. I hate it because because they don't tell you why each one is up here. They don't tell you. They just give you the games, but I don't know why each one is up here. And I wish there was a link at the bottom that would give me like a list of what it does or why it was nominated. And we have As Dusk Falls, Ragnarok, Return to Monkey Island, Last of Us Part 1, and The Quarry. And I voted for Ragnarok because it's the only game. To be fair, I've only played 2 of these. But it's the only game that I know of and that I have played that right when the first thing you see when you boot up the game is default settings or settings or accessibility settings. That is the first thing that like loads up when you the first time you boot it up. The first time you boot up the game, that pops up, and that's the reason I voted for it. I don't know if any of you have any thoughts about this category.
I am biased, one. But I think Last of Us Part 2 deserves it. And this is another kind of thing is I think Ragnarok took cues from Last of Us Part 2 in the accessibility category as well. Because The Last of Us Part 2, although like panned by critics when it came out for whatever reasons, people don't like story, people don't like whatever. One thing that was universally praised is how accessible Last of Us Part 2 is. Like in terms of like color blindness, you can play the game entirely using sound. I think they like implemented options for like people who are blind or deaf to be able to play. And so The Last of Us Part 1 was made, one is a remake and like kind of a cash grab, but one of the cool elements of it is that it implemented the entirety of the like Part 2 accessibility features, if I'm not mistaken. And the first game, like it's not playable by everybody because those accessibility features weren't kind of in existence. But now that they have the hardware that can like push those features and you can set up the game like that, I think The Last of Us Part 1 deserves it, because I think, in my opinion, like a lot of probably what Ragnarok took from it, if I would go and scroll through all those options, is a lot of the stuff that they took from Part 2, which was implemented into Part 1. So I think it deserves it.
Okay. I can see it because I do remember Part 2 winning, and I remember that they did point out that you can beat it even if you're blind.
I think too, like even they have like options to set controls in such a way for like people with like, who are missing like an arm or something like that. Like it's so intuitive. Like there's so many accessibility settings that really like anybody, not anybody could play it, but like a lot of like common disabilities that some like disabled gamers would face, they can have settings on there that would make it playable to them, and I think that's really cool.
Okay, cool.
I found an article that lists why each game got nominated. I'll put it in Twitch chat.
Sweet.
Thank you.
If anyone's curious for more detail of stuff like God of War, because they have a bunch of options like to auto loot and vision and hearing accessibility, and then as Dusk Falls goes, apparently has a bunch of subtitling options and a bunch of text to speech and speech to text type stuff. It's not a long read, it's just a short list.
Yeah, like this, it
Okay.
offers like a little synopsis on it a little bit.
Yeah,
Mhm.
okay. You're right. It seems like part one takes all the accessibility options from part two.
Yeah, like the one of my favorites is that I think more games should do it, but it has a motion sickness option where you can turn it on because like I know Uncharted 4 gave me motion sickness for part of it until I turned off I think motion blur. But some games even if you turn off motion blur, you still get motion sickness, and so I think I would like to see that more in
Okay.
other games.
I would love that option in like VR headsets, especially. So hopefully PSVR 2 is coming out. I'm not gonna get it, but maybe one day I'll get it. It's just too much at
I was gonna
launch.
say that's a whole other topic. The fact that it's not backwards compatible is what killed it immediately for me. I'm like, I'm not getting this.
Yeah, it's rough. All right. Next category: best community support. Well, the next few are gonna go. The next two are gonna be quick. So for best community support, Apex, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, No Man's Sky. It is the same exact category as last year with the same exact games. I voted for Fortnite.
Let's go Fortnite. Let's go.
I don't know if anyone has any bias to any of these games.
I don't have a bias per se, but I think like I want to bring up No Man's Sky from just like how dedicated they've been to like improving the game like upon launch, and they're just continuously adding new content. So I think it's a strong contender. I don't know if it'll win.
I think it
But
won
Final
last year.
did it?
I think it won
No Man's
last
Sky
year.
did?
I think so.
The other one is Final Fantasy 14, just because like I've never seen a more like rabid like player base. Like people like it's a copy pasta. People are like, play the critically acclaimed MMO free up to level 60, and I see it everywhere and stuff. And I'm just like, I kind of want it again, that secondhand excitement. I
Yeah.
want Final Fantasy to win because I'm like, I love the people who are fans of this game. They love it. They go rabid for it.
Yeah. So the same two categories as last year's community support and best ongoing game. And community support, I believe No Man's Sky won, and ongoing game, I believe Final Fantasy 14 won. So we'll see. And we'll get to ongoing game pretty soon. But next is mobile game, which is Apex, Diablo Immortal, Genshin, Marvel Snap, and Tower Fantasy. And I think it's either Genshin or Marvel Snap.
I think Genshin. I would just choose. I don't play any of these to be honest, but I think it's like pretty impressive that Genshin runs on a phone, so I'm just gonna choose Genshin.
I'm sure that one's gonna win, but I voted for Marvel Snap. I've been addicted to that game since it came out.
Yeah.
I
What
really
is
like
it?
it. It's a card game. Have you ever heard of Smash Up?
No, but I do like card games.
It's so there's like 3 locations in the middle, and you just have to like fight to have the most power on the location. And if you win 2 of the 3, you win the round. Each game lasts like I don't know, a minute.
Mhm.
It's like a super quick mobile game. I
Was
like it.
Wasn't it
Check
made
it
by
out.
wasn't it made by the people that made Hearthstone?
Yes.
Like they
Ooh.
left Blizzard and did that.
Now I'm really
Yep.
intrigued because I love Hearthstone.
So I think it's one of those two that are winning.
I believe so too.
Best indies next, and we have Cult of the Lamb, Neon White, Sifu, Stray, and Tunic. I same reasoning with it. BUND. I think Stray is winning. I voted for Cult of the Lamb.
Me too.
I'm gonna vote for Stray because I like the kitty cat game.
Kitty cat game.
I also think Stray will win.
Yeah, I voted for Cult of the Lamb, but This is probably Stray's category.
I also chose Code of the Lamb.
Do you think it's winning, or do you think Stray's winning too?
I say Code of the Lamb wins.
Okay. All right.
It might like it got a lot of support,
Yeah.
and and because it was like interactive via Twitch, I think that helps it a lot as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I think it'll be good. I think it'll be a good fight between it. Poor Sifu. I don't think Sifu's winning any of. I don't think Sifu's
Poor
winning
Sifu.
anything.
I want
Oh,
to play Sifu now. I feel bad.
I heard it's good. I heard it's good. So
Need some love.
maybe I'll play it sometime in the next few months because
They'll fake announce Xenoblade Chronicles as RPG of the year, and then they'll say JK, it's Sifu.
Sifu. Oh no. Oh, I will die. I'm gonna lose it. Best ongoing, again, same category as. Actually, no, No Man's Sky is not on here. All right, so best ongoing: Apex, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, and Genshin. I think Genshin's winning this.
I'm still voting for Final Fantasy because of my friends.
For your
who play
friends.
it. Yeah, I fight for my friend.
It could
I
be
think-
it could be any of these games. It's a pretty stacked category.
It is.
All of them have, yeah, and all of them have a really big ongoing player base.
I think it's going to be between Fortnite and Genshin.
Fortnite's gonna win.
Fortnite's gonna win.
Fortnite's gonna win.
Fortnite's gonna win. All
100%.
right. Category A. Actually, I don't want to. Skipping it feels bad, but I don't have too much. I haven't played any of these, so I'll just
Are
say
you talking about
it.
the Games for Impact one?
Yeah.
The only one I just immediately looked at the list and I'm like, Endling's gonna win because there's foxes in it, and I feel like everybody's gonna be like, "Aw, I've never played any of these games. There's little foxes in this. I'm choosing this one."
I've never even heard of any of these.
I've only heard of As Dusk Falls, but I hope Endling wins. Not only because of foxes, but because I like because just the title and like the concept of like extinction is forever. I think like that has a really interesting concept to it. I think I Was a Teenage Exocolonist is a funny title, so maybe that could win. But the only one I've heard of is As Dusk Falls.
Is that one made by Annapurna?
Yes. No.
Okay,
No. A Memoir Blue and Hindsight are Annapurna.
Okay, I was like, Annapurna is like stacked. Like they came ready to this Game Awards this year. They're in a lot
Yeah.
of categories.
So I went Endling. Brittany went Endling. Is anyone else joining the Endling club?
Yeah, I'll join.
All right, Lou's joining the Endling club. Let's go, Brandon. Let's go.
My cute little foxes. Let's go,
All
guys.
right. Okay. Now, okay, here. This is where, and I do have an opinion of it. Okay, we have best performance now, and we have Ashley Birch as Aloy, Charlotte McBurney, I believe,
Is that Requiem?
for Requiem. I don't know the girl's name. Christopher Judge as Kratos, Manon
King.
Gage as someone from Immortality, and Sunny Soljic as Atreus. This one's hard. I am hoping for Sunny to win.
So I haven't played Immortality, but I know Ashley Birch's performance. And then I'm familiar with Requiem, and so I've seen it played. All of them fantastic, including the Immortality game. I looked into what it was, and like the performance in it and everything. It's a really interesting game, but basically it's kind of like what is it? Is it Plumbers Don't Wear Ties? It's like one of those. It's like a interactive video game where it's what's the other one? Night Trap, I think, is a popular one where it's kind of like you choose a dialogue and it plays out a video sequence. So it's a game like that. It looks really interesting, but because of that, it's like really, really involved acting. So like I I don't have like a choice in this category because I think everybody in the category has like done a wonderful performance in terms of like what I've seen. But I predict Sunny will win for Atreus.
Ooh, okay. I want to beat the game before the Game Awards. I want to beat the game before the Game Awards because I'm fighting myself whether I want Judge or Sunny to win, and I would really like Sunny to win, but more than I would hope. I don't think they will because it's only one of them that's winning. I would like them both to be on stage, to go up for each other, like when they presented, and I forgot what award they presented, but I remember when they presented an award together. I think it'd be really cool to just have a moment with them together again at the Game Awards.
A true father-son moment.
I think it'd be really cool. So there's that. Anyone else?
Yeah, like you said, like Sunny, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably vote for him. I haven't voted yet.
I voted Ashley Birch because I like Borderlands. And that's
She's
Tiny
just
Tina.
she's so good. Like she's so good in any role she plays, and I'm just like, I gotta not be biased for a minute because like I would just vote Ashley Birch as soon as I see her name on there, regardless of what she's in, because I just love her. But like all of
Yeah.
the voice talent in this category for all of these different games, all the roles are very dynamic, and I'm like, all of them are like super talented.
Yeah.
Can I give you guys all awards? Because you guys are just all really great.
Yeah, Ashley Birch is in a lot of stuff. I recommend looking at her Wikipedia page. She's in a ton, and also her and her brother's web series Hey Ash, What You Playing is really funny.
I
Big
haven't seen
recommend
that.
that.
I'll have to check that out. Have you watched
Yeah.
BM Puppycat by chance?
I haven't.
She's in that, and it just threw me for a loop because as soon as I heard her voice, just whiplash, immediately eyes on the screen. I'm like, Ashley!
There's a few voice actors that I'm like that too. It's just really cool when that happens. Russ, do you have any opinions for this?
No. Ashley Birch is the only one I'm familiar with because of Tiny Tina. But the other ones, are they the same voices for Kratos and Atreus as they were in the first one?
Yes.
They were good in that, but I don't want to base it off of that.
Except Sunny's different because he's a lot older now. So
They
Yeah.
actually had to mix his voice in certain parts, like basically because puberty hit, which I think is funny because he was little Atreus in the first game, and then now he's
And,
like older.
yeah, now he's I think 16.
Mhm.
I think he's 16. So very cool. And we got 6, almost, yeah. So we got 6 categories left. Audio design. This was another one that's like whatever. Modern Warfare 2, Elden Ring, Ragnarok, Gran Turismo, Forbidden West. I voted Ragnarok because I like the sounds. I think sounds go burr. And but I think Gran Turismo's winning because cars go burr.
First off, Modern Warfare being this category cracks me the heck up because, like, I get it. Like, maybe the gun sounds are just really cool. Maybe it sounds super realistic, and maybe you can hear bullets whizzing past. But realistically, the people who are playing Call of Duty are not going to hear any of that. You're going to hear little kids calling your mom mean names. Like, you're not going to hear any of, like, the actual audio design. So I think it's a really funny category to put Modern Warfare in. But I'm sure, like, I'm sure it's warranted. I'm sure it's warranted. But immediately when I saw it, I was just like, dang. Some reason, like, this game's gonna win, and the moment I jump in, I'm like, I want to hear the sounds of this game and hear some little kid be like, "Your mom's fat." They're saying some mean stuff to me. But in terms of like who I would choose Horizon or God of War based off of what I've heard. Horizon, like when you hear the machines and you're like hunting and you can hear the grass move and stuff, and you hear all the machines click and rattle, it's very cool. And then God of War, like immediately when I played, one of the first places that you go has frogs, and as you approach them closer, you can hear them croak, and I'm like, oh, frogs, and like there's little critters around, you can just hear them like doing stuff, or when you throw your axe at certain materials, like, and I tested it and I threw it at bodies and it would make a nasty wet sound, and then I threw it on water and it would splash. I threw it on rocks and it would like make like a rock noise, or metal and it would make a clinging noise. So I think there's a lot of time and effort put into the audio design, but also frogs. Like frogs is enough to sell me. That's audibly the best thing ever. I want to hear little frogs croak when I walk up to them.
And anyone else?
I would like to continue on or just want to continue on. I believe Modern Warfare 2 about the audio.
Uh-huh.
I also find it funny how it's on there, especially after playing multiple games, on like how most of their audio doesn't even work.
Oh no. Oh no, I didn't know that.
Because there's always people complaining that like the footstep audios are too loud, or they cannot hear the footstep audio at all. And there's also like abilities in the game which basically negate like any footstep audio. And I find it's like really funny.
Oh, I
And-
hope it doesn't.
I've got a wild conspiracy theory. So I think the Game Awards are being hosted in the Microsoft Stadium, and that's why Overwatch 2 made it in, and that's why Modern Warfare is also in audio.
Oh,
Because Microsoft's like, put them in.
put them in. We don't own them yet, but we're close to.
Let's put them in. Diablo, put it in.
Anything Activision related. Activision Blizzard. And now we have our final 5, which I'm into all 5 of these. I'm into all 5 of these. So let's go into war on this. Next is best score in music. I will fight anyone to the death on this one. We have a Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, Ragnarok, Metal Hellsinger, and Xenoblade 3. I don't think Metal Hellsinger should be here. I think a lot of Metal Hellsinger is licensed stuff, which, and I'm big like I'm big advocate against licensed music in this category. I'm fine with licensed music in games. I'm against it in this category.
I could second that.
I was surprised to see this game in this category because of that.
It's like
I-
if somebody put Just Dance in this category.
Yeah, and even in the description it says for outstanding music inclusive of score, original song, and or licensed soundtrack.
Yep.
So that's why I like, ugh, I guess. I voted for it, and I think Xenoblade deserves it. I think Xenoblade 3 should win this. If this is the only category to win, so be it. But I think it needs it, and if it doesn't, I think Ragnarok wins. Because Ragnarok's score is good.
I've listened to all of the music for the I went so before the cast I actually like delayed my stream a bit because I wanted to go and like kind of look into every single one of the games, the categories, and I listened to, and like all of the tracks are really amazing. It's a really hard decision. Like being biased, I would probably choose God of War because it's the one that I've played the most out of all of these. But realistically, like if I were to actually determine which one is the best music, it could be a toss-up. Like it could be Xenoblade. I've heard Xenoblade 3 music. It could be Plague Tale Requiem. It could be God of War. It could be like any of these. All of them have really, really great scores. What's the other one? Is Elden Ring in here? Is that the one I'm
Yeah.
missing out on?
Yeah.
I'm sure that has great scores.
Elden Ring and Metal Hellsinger are the only two I've played, and if I'm being honest, I remember absolutely none of the songs from Elden Ring, and I didn't want to vote for Metal Hellsinger because I don't think it should be in this category. Although I did really like the soundtrack.
I'm sure the soundtrack is great. I've heard good things about it. I just like I was talking. I don't think it should be. Which again, that's up to personal preference. That's the musician and that's the musician and composer in me that is against it. Brandon, Lou.
Xenoblade probably wins. More than likely.
Just that Mobius theme. Just the Mobius theme is all it needs.
Yeah, those JRPGs should know the music.
I think one of the biggest things I'm excited for the Game Awards is the Game of the Year soundtrack medley that they do. I always love hearing it. I'm
It'll
excited.
be so pretty. All the games have really good music.
Yeah, it'll be good. It'll be good. For best art direction, we have Elden Ring, God of War, Forbidden West, Scorn, and Stray. I voted for Scorn, and I think Scorn wins.
That's the
Scorn
one
is-
I voted for.
Scorn is really cool. I didn't know anything about Scorn, and I was checking it out, and I'm like, this is. I really like the like H.R. Geiger stuff, and Alien, the first one, is like one of my favorite movies of all time. This one's hard. It's really hard because God of War has a really, really fantastic art direction to it. Like the architecture in it is stunning. It feels like every aspect of it was crafted with such care. Like the placement of objects in a room, like the warmth of the lighting, just I would give it to God of War. And again, I know I'm biased, but like it's beautiful. And then I think Horizon also made this one, and like I could go between God of War Horizon, and just because like Horizon's design, I mean, since even the first game had a really great direction in terms of art, with the contrast between like these nomadic peoples and like machines, and then using like those elements to craft structures and everything. Again, very, very beautiful architectural design, landscapes, foliage. The creatures are all just gorgeous. The costumes on all the individual characters are very, very gorgeous. So those two would be my pick, but it's very tough competition. Like a lot of the art direction for all these games are just very, very gorgeous.
Yeah, I think Scorn is what I vote for. Scorn is what I think is gonna win. But if it wasn't, I think I would vote Ragnarok again, because, like you said, everything is just done with so much detail, and without going into spoilers, from the first place you go aside from Midgar, right then and there,
It's
You
just
s- it-
dripping with
it-
like atmosphere.
like right then and there, it's like it's incredible what they do with that. So, but I do think Ragnarok is gonna sweep a lot of these, and I think I do think Scorn deserves it. As much as I was not into the game, I do think it deserves it for art direction. And Brandon, did you have any? Oh, actually, no, Brandon, I know what you voted for.
What
I'll
I
talk-
vote for.
You voted for the silly little cat game.
Let's say look at it. What's that?
The Still
did.
Little Cat game has a great art direction though too. Like, oh gosh, it's really just a toss up. Like any of them could win. I'm predicting God of War, and I'm hoping God of War Horizon. But like really any one
Yeah.
of these games could take it. Like they're all just they're beautiful. Like all of them are very beautiful games.
Yeah, they are. You're 100% right about that. And the next one, I can also see any taking it. I can see an upset happening, and I can see the obvious ones winning too. With best narrative, A Plague Tale, Elden Ring, Ragnarok, Forbidden West, Immortality.
Stray. Wait, Australia's not in there?
No, Immortality. That's I think you're a little ahead. You're a little ahead. That's the next one. But that's a narrative. I voted Ragnarok, and I think it's gonna win. I voted Ragnarok. I think it's gonna win, and if it's not Ragnarok, it's Elden Ring.
I kind of have an issue with Elden Ring being in this. The story is good, but it's a From Software game where you have to dig for the story. It's not given to you like most games are. So I feel like a lot of players kind of miss a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's weird to be in this category because the story is very manual, I guess you would say, to find.
Yeah, I saw a lot of this talk online, and I don't have a thing against that. I do think I think it's just a different form of storytelling, but I do think that Ragnarok and I do think the other games, like not just Ragnarok, I think every game here has an edge on it because it is easier to digest for the average critic.
I think it would be like, I think the others have like a tighter narrative, if that makes sense. Like with Elden Ring, it's very flowy. And another thing too is like, you're gonna find stuff probably out of order in Elden Ring. You're gonna have to go hunting online. So if you haven't played a From Software game, you hop in, you're probably not gonna, one, get much of the narrative, or two, if you're trying to find all of like the individual pieces of narrative, it's gonna be out of order, and so it's gonna take a lot of either like external work. And so I think it makes for probably like maybe a good and compelling narrative, but it's more loose. It's not as tightly crafted and woven as these other games are, where the narrative is the focus. Elden Ring, the focus is the gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like with something with Elden Ring and other From Software games, the story being so you have to go find it yourself makes it more forgettable. I played Elden Ring and I barely know what happened. I just know I killed big things. I don't know the actual story of it.
Yeah, you have to do digging. That's another way to tell a narrative, but it doesn't work for everyone, and that's why.
And again, like you said, it's not a bad thing by any means. I just think like it won't win this category because it's not tight. It's not a tight narrative. It's you have to like go hunt around.
I'll be shocked if I'll be surprised if it ends up winning.
If it ends up winning, I'm calling bias. There's bias for Elden Ring. Get out of here.
Brandon or Lou or both of you?
The best narrative?
Yeah.
I voted God of War. I think God of War is gonna win.
Okay.
I heard a lot of good things about God of War, so I might just go
Okay.
for that.
I will say too, in God of War's favor over Horizon, although Horizon has a really good story. From what I've heard, the second one has a really good story too. It has kind of the same. At least the first game had kind of the same issue as Elden Ring, where elements of story you pick up around the map, and so because of that, sometimes the narrative doesn't feel as tight as it could be if they just gave you that within the context of your story playthrough. Because if you don't, discover everything, you could be missing like not necessarily critical parts, but parts that help contextualize elements of the game.
Yeah. I think that and I do enjoy Horizon. I don't gravitate to it as much as you or other people. I think it's a good game. My biggest problem with it, and I think overall I did enjoy the story more than the first one, but my biggest problem with Forbidden West, without saying much about it, is that it feels like they were trying to tell two different stories, and I only resonated with one of them.
I think the first game after like just playing the first game kind of had a similar thing going on where I'm assuming, has everybody played Horizon? Can I talk about the first Horizon game? Like spoiler stuff right now?
I think so.
Okay. Like I was playing Horizon Zero Dawn and I was super invested to know where the robots came from, because that's like one key story element is where the robots came from. But there's this other like side thing that's going on where it's a war between the kingdoms, and like that part of the story, because again, it's like trying to tell two separate stories. You can get up to the point of where you're about to go discover the robots, but the game will not let you advance unless you go and do this War of the Kingdoms thing. And the War of the Kingdoms, the finale is really cool, but the rest of it is so dull, and I was so like uninterested until the finale of it, because there's a lot of fun combat mechanics, that I'm like, I want all these human characters to die. Like, I don't care about you. I want to go fight big robots and find out where the big robots came from. I don't care about the people characters. And I say that even though I love the game, but I totally get where you're coming from. The like split narrative can kind of it kind of breaks Horizon at times. Like it can break your interest in it if you're not interested in both elements of the story.
I will say it did break my interest in it at times where I was like, I always had fun playing it, but I can say right now it's not one of my favorite games of the year. But I do think it is a good game. I do see why people have it as one of their favorite games. Summer thing, without saying too much, there's a sci-fi element again here and a more grounded element that's going on at the same time.
And which one were you like? Yeah, I want to know about this. And the other one you were like, I sleep.
I preferred more the grounded element this time around.
Really?
Last time I preferred the sci-fi element with the robots. This time I did not care about the sci-fi element. I saw what they were doing. I was like, at first I was like, ooh, and then they showed more of it. I was like, I do not care about this. And then part of it is because this time around, my favorite character was one of the grounded characters in that story, and they made that so interesting, and like there's like a really cool choice that you make in it too that you'll eventually get to, and it's like they just added so much to this grounded element, and the story ultimately ends with leaning towards sci-fi stuff, but I was like, at that point I was like, the game felt to me it should have ended with the grounded element, because I feel like that is what they should have pushed for more.
It hopefully, like, because obviously you're gonna make another one. Like, this is like one of Sony's little money makers right now, just like The Last of Us. So there will be a Horizon 3. They're already remaking the first game for some unholy reason, but hopefully with the next game they merge it.
Yes,
like sci-fi and grounded. Just make one story Horizon. Don't split it into like two different mission paths, and just merge the narrative, make it good. Don't do the splitting thing, because it's always like you always end up caring about one thing way more because one feels like it got all the attention and love, like in the writing department and in the resource department, and the other one they're like, yeah, we need something going on with either these humans or something going on with these robots. Like just mix them.
And I think that the sci-fi element is what sets up the third game. So I think it'll be really interesting. I think it'll probably come near the end of the PS5 life cycle, or hopefully soon. Maybe they'll if they take away the resources from the remake, maybe they can get it out sooner.
Or maybe they'll remake the second game. No.
Oh no. And yeah, after that we got game direction, which is Elden Ring, Ragnarok, Forbidden West, Immortality, and Stray. I voted for Elden Ring this time. I think Elden Ring's gonna win this one because this one awards for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. I think Elden Ring should win that.
Go ahead.
I picked the funny little cat game again because I don't know any of the games where you can play as a cat. It's pretty innovative.
I'm in the same boat. I would, like, in terms of who I want to win, I want Immortality or Stray to win, because there's no other games you can play as a cat. Like Brandon said, there's not many games where you could play as an animal and it's like as realistic as that, but also it's a very creative concept. It's a very creative world, and the narrative, from what I understand, is also very creative. I've watched a lot of the game played, but I've tried to watch it in fragments because I do want to play it myself. I don't want the story completely spoiled. But it's just really interesting. You have, an adventure game you play as a cat with Metal Gear Solid elements in a beautiful, gorgeous cyberpunk world, and you're unraveling like elements of why this cat is doing said things. And then Immortality, I've never played it, but the fact that it's like I described earlier, it's one of those like video effects games where it's like Night Trap, but you watch, from what I gathered, because I watched a review, but it was a spoiler for your review, you like pick and you watch elements, and then slowly the story like kind of unravels. But I think in terms of creative direction, both of those are like far more creative than the other ones, because other ones have kind of been done, right? It's God of War, Elden Ring. What was the other one?
Horizon.
Horizon. Yeah, we've seen all of this before. We've seen a From Software game. We've seen a Horizon. We've seen a God of War before. So as much as I love, okay, I don't love From Software. As much as I love the two Sony games, and I would like, I love them. Die Hard Sony fan. They're not new. Like, it's the same. It's building on the same kind of stuff they already did. Whereas Stray is pretty unique, and this other game is pretty unique. Immortality is pretty unique. So I think in the direction aspect, like, that's creative direction for me. Is doing something very out of the box and doing it well enough to where, it warrants a spot in the Game Awards, like that. So those are my picks.
I can see that. The reason I did Elden Ring is because I think it has pushed the open world genre a little bit further, and has innovated on top of it, where like a lot of the games don't get the open world right, where Elden Ring did get it right, where it's pushed the genre, it's evolved it, and where I think a lot of open world games now took inspiration from Breath of the Wild. I think a lot of open world games that are going to come out over the next few years are going to take a lot of inspiration from Elden Ring.
That'll be interesting.
So that's why I did. And also, for the same reason, Ragnarok, Horizon, building on top of what they have already done.
Yeah. I will say I think Elden Ring will win, but
okay.
the other two are the ones that I'm like, they're the underdogs. I want them to win.
Yeah, okay.
And also they did new stuff. But yeah, Elden Ring, I can totally see that becoming the Breath of the Wild. Everybody's gonna be like, this is like Elden Ring. This is kind of like Elden Ring.
But everyone else think Elden Ring or Stray or Immortality?
I agree with what Brittany said about Immortality and Stray. I voted for Elden Ring on this one. I think that they changed it enough to where it fits in this category. I am pretty new to From Software games. I tried to play every From Software game and just I couldn't do it. Elden Ring was the first one where I actually could. It felt like they changed it enough to the point where somebody that's not good at From Software games can actually just hop in and play it.
Mm-hmm.
I think the fact that they made it open world to where if this boss is just destroying you, you can just go off somewhere else and do something else. But I really liked it. I liked the design of it. And based off of what little I've played from the other ones, it felt different enough to warrant the place in this category.
I'm surprised you haven't beat Bloodborne?
I have attempted that game like 4 times, and I cannot. I always get stuck around the same spot.
Because you like the like gothic style, like
Mhm.
Lovecraftian horror stuff, right?
Yep,
And
yep.
Bloodborne is like all that.
You would think I would love that game, but I just
You're like, I hate it.
now that I've played Elden Ring, I want to try Bloodborne again, but I have to be like in the right frame of mind to play a From Software game.
All right. Then yeah, we'll see. We don't have long to find out, but now we have the big one, the game of the year.
Sifu.
Yes. Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, Ragnarok, Forbidden West, Stray, and Xenoblade 3.
That obligatory one Switch game that has to make it in every year.
I think that's surprising that they made it. But that's my vote. Elden Ring's winning.
How about Xenoblade?
Dude,
I think it's Elden Ring's category to lose. I mean,
to lose?
it's such a big. I think the only thing that's close to it's probably God of War at the moment.
I think it's Ragnarok's to lose. I think do you guys remember in 2018 the Red Dead Redemption Awards? where like Red Dead took like almost every single category it was in, and then God of War won. I think that's what's happening this year. I think Ragnarok's gonna win almost every single category that it's in, and then Elden Ring is gonna win.
No, Elden Ring will win best RPG.
No. Please don't do this to me.
Okay, but would you trade off? Would you trade off? What if here's the compromise. Here's my trade offer, okay? Elden Ring wins best RPG, but Xenoblade wins Game of the Year.
I'll take it. I'll take that.
So backwards.
I'd pop off so hard. When I react, if we're watching and I'm saying, all right, it's gonna be Elden Ring, so they just say Xenoblade 3, I'm popping off my chair. I am screaming.
I want to see you throw your squishmallows off the wall. I want to see you go. I want to see them fly. He's like, yeah, I told you.
I did it. I gaslit
I
myself.
was 70% sure.
And then I woke up and Elden Ring won.
I'm voting for Ragnarok because obvious reasons. In terms of predictions, I think it's really a toss-up between Elden Ring and Ragnarok. What Elden Ring has going for it is, of course, like that critical acclaim that all From Software games get. This one's more accessible than the past ones, but at the end of the day, it is still a From Software game, which scares away like your normal gamer. Whereas any like third-party Sony story game is like made for everyone, and the pair that with like the accessibility options of Ragnarok, I think Ragnarok could still possibly take it. So I'm gonna predict Ragnarok because why not?
I can definitely see that. I think it's a toss up between Elden Ring and Ragnarok, but I do think it's in Elden Ring's favor.
It does have the critics. The critics will always they like the From Softwares.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's just me, but it seemed like Elden Ring was more talked about online when it was coming out. I feel like that, at least I haven't seen a lot of stuff about God of War.
No, it's definitely people still talk about Elden Ring. I'm trying to be hopeful. I don't want Elden Ring to win. I want God of War to win. Just like
I do think God of War has a better chance. What was that?
I said just like Itachi wants Xenoblade to win.
I do think God of War has a better chance though, just because it's for everyone and not everybody can play a From Software game.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know, I don't know. I have like a few friends who've gotten like the new gen consoles, and I was like, oh, you should like maybe try Elden Ring. I've heard good things. And they're like, oh, it's made by the Dark Souls people, right? And I'm like, yeah, but this one's like a lot easier. And they're like, I'm not playing it. I'm like, okay. No said.
Brandon, you said you voted for Xenoblade 3 and you think Elden Ring's losing.
What?
So
No, I said it's Elden Ring's like award to lose. I think they're the front runner by far.
oh okay.
Come on, you're not voting silly little kitty game. No, I wanted to vote for I wanted to vote Triangle Strategy for best RPG because I thought that's funny also, but I thought she pressured me into voting Xenoblade.
Stray for best RPG.
Oh, God.
Is it up for best RPG?
No, but that'd be fun.
No.
I'd be mad about that too.
That would be the most comical because there's not even a numerical system I think in Stray that you could consider to be RPG at all. Stray for best RPG. Let's go.
I'd lose it.
Modern Warfare for best RPG.
Lou, do you have anything for Game of the Year?
I think it'd be pretty funny if all the kids got beat up by a cat.
If Stray wins, that'd be crazy. I think Strays would be the big. Stray or Xenoblade would be the biggest upset. Because I can see in some dimension Forbidden West and Requiem maybe taking it, but I have a very hard time seeing Stray or Xenoblade actually winning this.
I have the hardest time seeing Horizon win. just based off of the first the first game getting just like blasted through because Breath of the Wild, and this year like there's no way Horizon is going to beat Ragnarok or Elden Ring, and I feel like the excitement around Xenoblade being nominated is enough to like kill out Horizon, and I think the meme of seeing a little kitty game win is enough of a meme and reaction to beat out Horizon. Like there's again, I love Horizon, Guerrilla Games. I love you guys. You guys have made an amazing game. You guys need to learn how to not release things like, at the worst time possible.
A week before Elden Ring, I
Elden
think?
Ring.
And then a week before Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Like, and what's next?
Or it was either that or like maybe a couple days after, or was it a couple days? It was like a couple days before Breath of the Wild. Like it was so close.
God, it's the Horizon Curse. The third game's gonna do the same thing.
What do you think it'll release alongside Wolverine? You think Wolverine will punch it out?
No.
What's been it now? Metroid 4.
Metroid
Let's
Prime
do
4?
that. Metroid Prime 4. It's gonna release 3 days before Metroid Prime 4.
Oh man, that'd be insane. There has to be another open world game.
Who hasn't made one in a while? CD Projekt Red will release the new Witcher game.
Witcher,
3 days.
Witcher 4. Witcher 4
3 days after.
Oh,
Horizon
that would be worst case scenario if they made like another Witcher game right alongside it. Oh, okay.
Poor Guerrilla Games. Poor Guerrilla Games. I
Alright.
love you guys. You guys gotta look up when other games are coming out.
And that's it for the Game Awards. So we got everything down. I wanted to talk about announcements before ending, but it's already overtime. So instead, we're gonna do one, either one announcement prediction or one dream announcement. Okay, it makes the question the question that was gonna be what's like your dream announcement for the Game Awards. So either, because they always have announcements, that's part of the reason why some people end up watching it. Jeff Lee likes to make this a little mini E3. What new trailers are we gonna get?
Another Breath of the Wild trailer.
Maybe
see-
some like more Silent Hill stuff,
Silent Hill stuff.
possibly. Maybe Konami will finally bless us and be like, since we're making games again, we will give you a new Castlevania. And I'll be like, thanks, Konami.
Thanks, Konami.
My dream announcement is Sakurai walks on stage and puts Tanjiro in Smash.
Stop! Don't make that joke again. Oh, okay.
Maybe Sakurai did talk about making a new Kid Icarus, though.
Yeah.
I want that. I want a new Kid Icarus. Kid Icarus Uprising is good.
Kid Icarus Uprising is my favorite 3DS game, please.
He's gonna
Please.
come on stage and he said, "I'm shutting down Smash servers. I'm tired of all of you." Smash
Steve
is
is meta.
canceled.
I didn't mean for this.
I think we get a Tears of the Kingdom trailer. A meteor one. Than the one that we got for the release date and the name reveal. I think we get a story one this time.
That'd be neat.
And I think that there is a small chance, hear me out. Every year since 2018, Persona has had a presence at the Game Awards for every single year.
All right,
The-
get ready for Persona 5 Racing, baby.
the 25th anniversary was a bust. That was awful. And the rumors that I've been hearing from people that have leaked Atlas stuff in the past have said that they wanted to end the anniversary with the Persona 6 reveal, but they weren't ready yet. So
Thank God, bet that, and then they got like a week out. That was like way.
So we're gonna get a Metroid Prime 4 trailer where it's just words.
Yeah.
Persona 6, it exists, I guess.
Just like Persona 5, I wonder. I think every year they've had something Persona related. Last year was Arena. The year before that it was Strikers. The year before that it was like Royal, and then
We could get Persona 5 Arena.
I would love that. but I don't think they're gonna do anything more with Persona 5. I think they're done. I think 5's done.
Are you sure? Because I know if they release more Persona 5 stuff, you'd buy it, and everybody else who likes Persona would buy it.
I would buy it, but I think they're done. I hope they're done for my wallet, and I hope they've moved on to Persona 6 for me to spend even more money for the next game.
I want a racing game.
That'd be funny. If they did a racing, that'd be hilarious. I do think 6 has a 30% chance of showing up, but I think Tears of the Kingdom has a pretty solid chance. Do you think we can get a Mario movie trailer?
That's
No.
100% possible. I just want to hear. I want to hear more Charlie Day as Luigi.
Yeah, me too. That's what I want to hear. I think I think we can get a Mario movie trailer for best with best adaptation. Like after they do the best adaptation, Jeff Keighley's like, speaking of best adaptations, we got a world premiere.
I hope so. I hope so. I mean, the movie's almost done, right? Like, it comes out next year. They're probably like finishing.
Comes
up.
out in 5 months.
Yeah, so it's probably like basically done.
I just want to see. I just want to hear how Donkey Kong sounds.
Oh.
That's all I want in my life. I can't rest peacefully until I know.
They're gonna announce that they're making a Zelda movie, and Chris Pratt is Link.
Stop. Okay. Absolutely not.
I hope Keegan Michael Key is the Crocs.
The-
So every time there's a large mass of something, they go to that guy.
Can we have Jack Black return as Ganon? Can we have the same voice cast for the Zelda movie?
Oh, that'd be.
Just repurpose it.
Can
It's
Zelda
like
be
the
voiced
Sonic
by
cast.
Charlie Day?
Oh no.
No. Oh man.
I hope they don't announce anything. That's it. I'm done.
No
They'll announce
more
anything.
They're
announcements.
canceling it.
All right. Anyone else want to mention something before we sign off?
Fortnite
I'm
2.
gonna,
Some Fortnite 2.
Yeah.
Fortnite movie. Let's go.
What were you saying, Russ?
I'm gonna make a wild prediction that we're gonna see a announcement for Metroid Prime, the trilogy, to be released on Switch.
I hope so.
That'd be.
Can we get a mini version of the Steelbook too? That'd be cute.
That'd
Switch
so.
size. I want that.
be good. All right. And with that being said, this was the Game Awards predictions. We're gonna let everyone do their outros. We're gonna start off with you, Russ. Russ, where can everyone find you at?
You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram at CryoWeasel. Mostly active on Twitter, talking about video games and things that come across with video games.
Awesome. And Brittany, where can everyone find you at?
You guys can find me on Twitch, YouTube, basically like any social media that has a Skrilla Wolf is likely me.
Likely.
Likely.
Any impersonators?
I don't know yet.
Not that you know yet. Okay. All right. Lou,
What's up?
where can people find you?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know.
What's your address? Where are you located?
I don't know.
Go. Just find Lou on Twitter. You guys can figure it out somehow.
Mhm.
Brandon, where can everyone find you at?
Twitch.tv/DSandvichRuby. I stream Mario Rabbids and Overwatch currently. Probably gonna stream Toontown. Want that content sooner or later. Check back on Sunday. Might be playing Toontown.
All right, awesome. And you guys already know where to find me, anywhere except for the Hive yet. Haven't gotten to that yet. Probably not gonna get to that, or Mastodon. Maybe when Twitter finally burns down.
It's not on desktop, and
No.
you have to sign up for the beta for Android. I can't.
Wait, is that
I want to go
Mastodon
grab
you have to? Or what are you talking about?
the Hive.
The Hive.
That like Twitter thing. It's not. It's only on Apple mobile products. You have to sign up for the beta on Android, and it's on desktop. I just wanted to get Sandwich. I don't want to be Sandwich Ruby. I just wanted Sandwich.
So you wanted to get it done right like just in case?
Just in case.
Just in case. I've thought about opening a Hive account, but I haven't done it. I don't think I will.
Be just Tachi.
I don't want to be just
Quick.
Itachi. I don't want to be just Itachi. But yeah, you already know where to find me. No stream tomorrow. I'll be at Disneyland. So no stream tomorrow. I'll be back Monday, and then in 2 weeks we will be recapping the Game Awards. Everyone, it's an open invite again. If anyone wants to recap the Game Awards in 2 weeks, you guys are all more than welcome to come back. And yeah, we will see you on the next podcast episode. Goodbye, everyone.